August 9th, 2019. Getting old is scary. I probably should have used that picture I used a few days ago of the age enhancement, but I've already used it. Every day as I ride my bike to and from the sanctuary, I have to go past the Rocky Creek Retirement Mobile Home Park on Waters Avenue. There are always several elderly people, either hobbling on canes or on their scooters, blocking the sidewalk where I ride to stay out of the crazy 6 lanes of traffic. They have the right-of-way, and I'm always worried about startling them, so I will pull out into the street to pass them or into the narrow path of grass on the other side. It really slows down my commute, but I keep thinking to myself how frightening it must be to be so old and vulnerable and yet still have the desire to go out in the world and do something. Last night I saw a man who I've seen several times before, who is probably my age but about 300 pounds and appears to have Down syndrome. He appears to be part Hispanic and maybe part African American. He's stopped on his scooter, which is almost completely hidden under his massive frame, and it is tilting from side to side. It looks like he's going to tip over into the rush hour traffic that is screaming past him, despite this being a slow zone, specifically due to the number of elderly who use this sidewalk. I think he must be nodding off or having some kind of a seizure as I get closer, so I hop off my bike and ask him what's wrong. He's hard to understand because of the Down syndrome, but he manages to convey that his scooter's battery is dead and that he lives in the retirement center. There is nowhere nearby to secure my bike, so I tell him I'll push him home and just sit still till I get back. I ride down to a telephone pole and chain up my bike because in this neighborhood, it won't be here when I get back if I don't chain it down. Then I run back to him because he started the tilting thing again. I learn that he's trying to disengage the motor from the wheels so that I can push him. He had a cane and an umbrella, so he must have been trying to do that when I first saw him, with the intention of using those as ski poles to propel his chair. He can't stand up, and his weight is causing the levers under the chair to be almost impossible to turn. I have to brace my back under the chair and press up to alleviate enough of the weight to turn the handle. After a number of failed attempts, it finally locks into position so I can push the chair. I'm guessing I pushed that chair a quarter of a mile. During that time, 2 able-bodied black men passed us, one on a bike and the other on foot, without a word or offer of assistance to help. I gave them the benefit of the doubt that they just thought this struggling, sweating, panting white woman was the chair-bound guy's nurse. At one point, where the pavement was particularly tricky, the man says, "You probably have your own health issues." I start to tell him that my hip is killing me and has been for the past month because I hurt it wheeling Priya Tiger, but I figure he will think me crazy, so I just say, "I'm fine." I guess scooters frequently lose their charge because the guard at the entrance to the subdivision sees us and trots out the charger. I left him in the capable hands and returned to my bike. Several years ago, a tiny old lady in a regular wheelchair had tipped over while crossing this road. I had stopped traffic with my truck to get her back up into the chair. I was surprised when no one cared enough to get out and help. I should have just been thankful that they stopped and let me get her back up and out of the road. A couple of days ago, Facebook abandoned shows and combined 2 of our 3 shows back into our main Facebook page. That brought our fans from 2.3 million to 2.4 million. There's still the Wildcat Walkabout show to combine, and that has close to 100,000 fans, but a lot of them will be duplicates. Today, I think I'll stop in Panther Refuge as my day trip in order to break up the drive back to Plantation. Our grand opening is there tomorrow, and I want to arrive relaxed. I hate crowds and I hate talking to the press, but it's necessary if we are going to drive forward the idea that the only zoo animals should be virtual ones. Sunday, Dr. Jim Sanderson, the small cat expert, is going to be here for the express purpose of checking out all this VR and AR stuff out. So I need to go load the headset with all of our best. Later in the morning, I wrote this to the attention of USDA and the Florida Wildlife Commission. Does this facility have a USDA and FWC license to exhibit bobcats? I am reporting a call about a full-grown bobcat being kept in a cage about 3 feet square with no protection from the sun or gawking visitors and children at the Horsepower Ranch on Racetrack Road in Odessa, Florida. And I gave all of the details, but I'm not going to read them out here. The details of the address. Lindsay Apicella, copied here, and I gave her phone number, witnessed what we believe is abusive treatment of what appears to be a Florida bobcat and called me today. She is happy to tell you what she saw and said I could submit this complaint on her behalf. If the USDA or Florida Wildlife Commission decides to seize the bobcat, we would be happy to assist in the capture and seizure, and if the bobcat is deemed by the Florida Wildlife Commission to be native, we will work to rehab him for release back to the wild. If he cannot be released, our cages start at 1,200 square feet for a bobcat, and we would give him lifetime care at no charge for any of this to the government. Please don't let this cat suffer another day at the Horsepower Ranch. If you're enjoying my diary, please like, share, and subscribe. You can find other ways to connect to me over at bigcatrescue.org/Carole.Baskin.